Hello, hello, hello. So this is Raven, and today we're going to be talking about this movie on Netflix called Rock the Kasbah. Now, my dog is currently in my lap. If you hear her making noise, I apologize. Hopefully she won't be too much of a nuisance. Anyway, I'm going to make this quick, or as quick as I can, because really there's not a whole lot that I can say about this without completely... Well, it's not like it would be ruining it. It's the kind of thing where you really do have to see it. Even if someone tells you about it, it's not the same as seeing it. Anyway, this movie came out, I don't know, a year or two ago? Just came out on Netflix not too long ago. And it's about Bill Murray, who is a total hack of a talent agent. And on a whim, he decides to take his only real act on a USO tour in Afghanistan. And hijinks ensue, basically. His act gets fed up with him, leaves him, and takes his money and his passport, so he's just stuck there, which is pretty horrifying. But the whole movie has this, what was the term? Farcical tone. That's what it is. A reviewer that I like referred to this movie as basically a farce. And yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's just a weird little romp, horrifying situations that are somehow hilarious. Anyway, we're gonna go on to triggers quick. Lots of violence. We're talking guns everywhere, explosions, lots of cussing, blood. Not super gory blood, but people are occasionally bleeding from the face. So if you're a little bit twitchy about that, you might want to skip this, or you might just want to have somebody else watching ahead so that they can tell you where to, mute or look away. It is a really, really funny movie, but there's a lot of odd and potentially offensive things in there. A lot of cussing, for one, drug use, a subplot about a prostitute, and her name is Mercy with an I. She's actually a really sympathetic character. I kind of like her the most out of all of the characters, but, that's a thing. And it just might get a little bit awkward for people who are sensitive to sexual content. Even though nothing's really explicit, there's still just some conversations and stuff that might get a little bit uncomfortable for people. The whole movie is, as a white person, I don't know if I can say whether it was racist or not. I mean, it portrays Afghanistan as a bit of a hellhole, which maybe it is. I guess I don't know. It also does have some Afghan characters calling out the Americans' bullshit, which is nice. But, just know that this is a movie about a white dude stuck in a war-torn country with basically no support, and somehow almost all of the main characters are white, even though they're in Afghanistan. So, that's a thing. I think it's okay on the racism front. I don't know. There's a thing about, honor killing. Maybe that's racist. I don't know. Just, it's a white guy in Afghanistan and hijinks. Again, it's the kind of movie where you really just have to see it, though. If you like the idea of a madcap comedy set in the middle of Afghanistan while people are shooting everywhere, and Bill Murray is just bullshitting his way through everything and somehow it works, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it has its problems and it ends kind of abruptly, but I mean, that kind of made it funnier, honestly, the ending being really abrupt like that. It's the kind of movie that you're either going to find hilarious or you're just not gonna get. And I'm not saying that in a pretentious kind of way, I'm just saying that in a this is not for everybody kind of way. You have to be a kind of a certain person to really enjoy this kind of movie. And if you don't enjoy it, that just means that your tastes don't quite line up with the intended, comedic stuff. And that's cool. There's a lot of stuff that I hate that everyone else seems to love. But honestly, if you're looking for a weird, it's absurdist and satirical. weird things happen and people just sort of react to it as though it's normal, or they just kind of go, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this now. Anyway, I guess beware of the lots and lots of gunfire, explosions, some racism. I'm not qualified to point out all of the racist stuff, whatever it may be, but just figure that you're watching a movie about a white guy in Afghanistan. And, there are going to be some things that come along with that might get uncomfortable. I don't know. Anyway, this has gone on way too long. It's a weird, weird movie. I loved it. You might not, but I would have to say, if you can get through the first, 10, 15 minutes and you think it's funny, you're going to have a good time. Although, side note, there is a scene or two of vomiting. Not so much in the, projectile vomiting kind of thing, but, people are barfing into bags and stuff. So if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, maybe mute the movie when that's going on. Mute for probably as soon as the guy in the bar says, you need to take this act to Afghanistan, and, says something about USO tours, just mute it, and then come back when Bill Murray is talking to the girl. And then mute it again when they're on the airplane, and don't put the sound back on until they get to the airport. I'm sorry, my dog is being very rambunctious. So I guess that means I gotta wrap this up. That's about it. I hope you enjoy this movie as much as I did. If you don't, I totally understand. But I really hope more people see this. Alright, I guess I will see you folks on the dark side of the moon.